This is literally one of my biggest Ethereum videos ever, and it is because we're going to be talking about Ethereum's path to potentially flip Bitcoin and become the #1 cryptocurrency, which I know sounds really crazy, but if you've been watching me for years, you're going to remember that I've actually been saying this, and I think that it's possible in the future. I don't know if it would be permanent, but I definitely think that it's possible in the future, and I'm going to tell you exactly why in this YouTube video. It all comes down to the price action we've had coiling up in this range for a while, and before I continue, I want to stress, if you are watching this on the main channel, go back to this link in the top of the description, watch it on the daily channel so that you don't miss this content. Very, very time sensitive, but here's the thing with this chart right here is if we look at this on the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, we can get an idea of what Ethereum looks like against Bitcoin, and this is how we measure if Ethereum will flip Bitcoin, because basically we're just looking at market caps, right? So the market cap of Ethereum right now sits at 228 billion, but Bitcoin's is at 560. So it's about double what Ethereum is right now. But if Ethereum gains a lot of strength against Bitcoin, all of that could change, right? And this is the path for it. If we look at Ethereum against Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, we've got this really long-term ascending triangle pattern here. And it's not perfect because we weren't hitting the resistance level up here. We only started hitting it in 2021, but this line actually goes all the way back to 2019, or in fact, it goes way longer than that on my chart. I actually... Well, on this chart right here, I actually drew it all the way back to 2017 because you can extend the line this far back. And it's almost just a bit too crazy, which is why I didn't show it to you guys. The line is also slightly different. But we've got an incredibly long-term area of support here for the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. And we are coming back down towards it now. You know, some sort of really bloody sell-off for Ethereum against Bitcoin, potentially leading into a pump, would make a lot of sense on this long-term chart. It would represent a lot of blood, a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt, but it would represent even bigger opportunities. And that is where this becomes really interesting. Now, see, if we take a look at this ascending triangle just drawn a little bit differently, we can get the height measurement, right? This is how we kind of extrapolate a breakout target. And we're very clearly coming towards the end of this ascending triangle. And if we end up repeating the same move that we had previously, you know, the length of the triangle, a 370% height, you know, if we give that to our breakout level and look at where we would kind of break out up to, that gives us a speculative target of 0.38 BTC per Ethereum token. So basically a third of Bitcoin, you know, would be worth one Ethereum token, which right now, I mean, you can see the price level for Ethereum, it's very different. You know, not even 10% of a Bitcoin, you know, is worth one Ethereum token at the moment, right? Ethereum's just weaker. But that could change with a big breakout, whether we break out now from this pattern or we come down to the longer term area of support and then break out. That's where this thing could get very, very interesting. And the numbers are absolutely explosive, again, if we look at coin market cap and what that could potentially represent. And if we look at it on the Ethereum chart against the dollar, you know, we've got some paths for salvation here that I want to outline for you. Now, I don't know how soon this could happen, but what I do know is that if Ethereum does start moving in an explosive manner, like that's it. You know, I mean, it's probably going to fly. You know, Bitcoin is consolidated for a while. Ethereum's been kind of, you know, doing nothing for a minute as well. You know, we've almost kind of entered like another rising channel, you know, with a big deviation up here. You know, and so when these kind of patterns break out, they usually do break out to the upside. You know, we're going to see something really interesting potentially happen here. And I do want to outline a very short-term pattern with you on the chart shortly as well. But what's worth noting is if all that volatility comes, it pays to be prepared. Bybit, guys, is offering a huge giveaway right now for an iPhone 14 Pro Max. You literally just have to register to Bybit using my link and deposit $100. That's it. You don't even need to trade. You don't need to do anything. And you stand a chance to win an iPhone 14 Pro Max. And it's actually pretty easy to win this giveaway for you guys because it's only open to you guys that register now, which means that if you already have an account, you're going to have to make a new one, but it means that your overall chances of winning are extremely fucking high because it's not all the people that I've referred to Bybit over the last few years, it's only right now. So you can make a brand new account to participate in this and make that deposit, and you'll be entered into this giveaway, along with just getting up to $30,000 in free trading ammunition, right? Depending on how much you deposit, and when you start trading, they're going to give you free money to trade with, and that money you can deploy back into the market. If you make any profits, you get to keep it, which is really, really cool. And I'll show you why right now. Just pause the video and do that sign-up process if you're interested in taking advantage of that. It takes about 20 seconds with this link in the description. But if we look at where Ethereum is right now and where it could be headed, we do potentially have a situation where if we're just kind of able to get above this area of support, resistance, whatever it is, and then come back down for a back test, we could use this area as quite convincing support. Right now, we're just consolidating in it, which isn't particularly great. But again, if we are able to get above it and come back down, this is where things could get really exciting. And if we look at some of our key indicators here as well, this makes a bit of sense, right? We have to overcome a 4-hour Ichimoku cloud in order to make this dream a reality. But I don't think that would be super hard for Ethereum to pull off, simply because it's not a super wide cloud. It's basically only spanning a 2.5% range. So, the bigger the cloud, usually the stronger it's going to be, whether it offers resistance or support. The bigger it is, the stronger it's going to be. So we do have some resistance here, meaning that we've got a window of opportunity for bears to take the market lower. But if we are, like I said, it's not heavy. If we are able to get above it, that's where things could get really interesting and potentially give us a really nice path towards that next area of resistance, which is going to start at about the 2070 level. This is basically the bottom of where we were consolidating, a week or two ago. So this would be an interesting level to see Ethereum rising up to. Let me just drop a line right there. It's a nice easy gap between this range and this range. So, a day trade could be doable there as well. It's not necessarily something I would do. That looks pretty risky to me, but the range kind of makes it worth it. A 4% range. I don't know why this says 4% because it's actually 7. My bad. From here up there, we're looking at closer to 7%. That kind of range with a bit of leverage can get pretty crazy pretty quickly in terms of profits, right? I mean, like a 10x trade, this would not be a good idea, but a 10x trade kind of from here up to this area of resistance would result in a 90% profit right now, which is huge. That's nearly doubling your money, which is very, very exciting. And all of this is just kind of building up to the big breakout, right? We're still expecting that at least I am still expecting that big breakout above this red line heading up to this yellow box. These are the two main areas on the chart that have my interest. If we get above $2,000 and stay above it convincingly, there's nothing that should stop us from getting up to $2,600, $2,700. And that is where all of this becomes very, very exciting. On the short-term time frame, it's kind of different now because we've been dropping down, but on the short-term time frame, we did get a little bit of a breakout too. So we're trying, right? The market is pushing. And really, the way I see this, the way I see all of these coins is that there is just some selling pressure that exists in the market right now. But if that selling pressure goes, and we're still, and the rest of the market kind of stays relatively similar, the same to what it is right now, then what we're going to have is a complete absence of selling pressure with some buying pressure still in the still in the market, still at play, and that can definitely result in a big jump up for the market. That's something that's worth paying attention to, right? A lot of the time when we're in price ranges like this, all we're doing is slowly exhausting supply, and as that supply dwindles down, demand stays at the same level, the price can start rising up. So this is well worth paying attention to. And again, my eyes are just mainly going to be on Bitcoin, which also looks pretty okay, right? So for the short-term Ethereum USD price action, it's not looking too bad. It's looking okay. So that's my thoughts on Ethereum right there. I love the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. This ascending triangle is not something to ignore. The issue with it is it's a really big range. And again, like I said, and we weren't hitting the resistance up here. So you kind of have to start asking like, how valid is this actually? But if we even look at a breakout like from this point here, and this is a much smaller move, but if we actually let's just measure this really quickly because I'm curious what this looks like. We'll take a brand new chart and measure what this looks like here on the weekly time frame. I'm very curious to see if this shows us anything particularly interesting. I'm gonna have to use the logarithmic chart for this. There we go, more or less kind of what we're looking at, and the resistance level would be like right up here. So if we measure what this range looks like, we're looking at, it's still 160% to the upside potentially, right? Just using these classic tools to get a measure for the breakout, which is still a huge price jump for Ethereum. It means that we'd be more than double what we are right now. In fact, near about triple Ethereum's current price against Bitcoin if we actually fulfill this breakout. And that's with a much more conservative target. Now you might be wondering, why do we measure this? I don't know. It just tends to be the case that the market will repeat the length of its previous pattern, it's hit or miss, right? I mean, if the target is up here, it's very possible that the market stops here or that the market stops here, right? We're not going for exacts, but what we're trying to understand is the overall move, just to look, if the price is going to go up here, I need to be prepared for that, right? That's a big price move. That's still more than double. That's a 2.5 times gain. So obviously I'm going to want to be prepared for it. It doesn't matter if the price was supposed to go there, but it only got here. At least by analyzing this, I can be prepared for that price move. And that is where things get really, really exciting. So there you go. That's what I'm looking at for this market. If you're interested in taking advantage of it, check out the link to Bybit, like I said, with the link down in the description below, because of course you still have access to that giveaway if you're interested, which, like I said, with the numbers, is actually super easy to win right now, the way it's set up. So it's definitely worth checking out. All right, guys, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the very next altcoin video that I upload right after this one. Double check that you're subscribed to the proper channel for this analysis, the altcoin channel. That's where you're going to be seeing all of this content, and I will see you all very soon in the next altcoin video. Cheers.